Oh, hi. I didn't see you there. Well, today I have with me the 64 Audio Fourte Noir. So let's get into it. Hello, fellow audio nerds. I'm Steph, and this is Major Hi-Fi. The 64 Audio Forte is one of the most highly regarded IEMs out there. Everyone who's tried it really seems to love them, and they have so much detail. Well, this week I got a chance to spend some quality time with its limited edition sibling, the 64 Audio Forte Noir. So how does it sound in comparison to the Forte, and which one is right for you? Let's go back in time, I'll share with you my first impressions, and then I'll meet you right back here for my overall thoughts, as well as a comparison review between the regular Forte and the Noir. Oh, hey, Steph here. Before getting started into the review, I just want to say a quick thing. If you like this review and you find it really helpful, please feel free to give it a thumbs up and to subscribe to the channel. We definitely want to try and grow a little bit, so definitely want to hear your feedback as well. So let us know what you think in the comments down below. Alright, thanks. I'll see you in the review. I'm so sorry, I could not resist doing that. Anyway, today I do have with me the 64 Audio Forte Noir. So let's see what's inside the box here. Alright, so as you'll see here, we've got some good accessories. So first things first, some documentation, a little 64 Audio sticker for those of you that are sticker collectors. We've got some ear tips. There's 3 sizes of each kind, some silicone tips, small, medium, large, and foam tips, small, medium, large. We've got a shirt clip here, a cleaning tool, this nice hard shell protective carrying case which clasps up right there, has the 64 logo. And then finally here we've got the IEMs as well as their detachable cable. It's detachable via 2-pin connectors to the IEMs and terminates to a 2.5 balanced connection. And then, of course, in order to kind of like help you with that, there is a 2.5 to 3.5 millimeter adapter here. Alright, so taking a closer look at the Forte Noir. So one major difference between this and the regular Forte is that the driver housing here has this, this black finish as opposed to the kind of burnt orange of the regular Forte. So as a result, it kind of has like a classier look to me, like it feels a little bit more mature, less playful, and I like it. It looks really nice, but it has, you know, its driver housings ultimately just look pretty much exactly the same as the Fortes. It's just got this kind of matte black finish, and because of that, they are very strong feeling, but are also really nice and lightweight. And the connectors here feel really strong as well. Like it feels like this is just very durable, like it's not gonna crack on you or anything. It's just a really nice, strong design. Now you'll see that this nozzle, it's sort of like the body of this housing kind of tapers, and then the nozzle is at the end of that tapered part. So yeah, let's see how these fit in the ears here. I am noticing that you'll kind of see that the way these ear tips fit, it's really close to the actual nozzle, and like the hole is pretty big. So what I'm finding right now is that this feels a little bit uncomfortable on the inside of my ear. Like the seal, it's not, my ears are just kind of weirdly shaped. So what I'm going to quickly try is switching to the foam tips to see if I have any better luck and a more comfortable fit that way. Oh yeah, this is immediately much better. Feels much more comfortable this way for me. So, okay, I got a really nice seal in there, and because of how lightweight these are, it actually just like feels really secure, like they don't want to fall out, they don't feel loose at all. I just have that nice seal in there. And there's also this molded ear hook on the cable. It's not a super tight hook, but it is just there to give a little bit of extra kind of added support. And then as for the driver housing itself, like I don't feel it touching my ear at all really. It just sort of like sticks out a little bit, and and kind of does its own thing. Like it feels comfortable. Like I don't think that wearing these for a long period of time would be an issue at all. Now, one major upgrade from the Tia Forte to the Tia Forte Noir is that the cable is an upgraded cable. So there are 8 conductors here, all individually insulated and then kind of twisted together, you'll see, into this cable here. It is a balanced cable, so it terminates to a 2.5 millimeter connection. And then, yeah, no frets if you've got the, if you need 3.5, because it comes with the adapter. But that said, yeah, this cable, according to 64 Audio, is supposed to be lower resistance, have a smoother high-end response, high-frequency response. So yeah, I am excited to give it a listen for sure. But outside of the cable, so much of what's going on inside these IEMs is very similar, actually exactly the same as the Tia Forte. Both have 3 balanced armature drivers and 1 dynamic driver. Both utilize the Apex technology, which stands for air pressure exchange. So there's this kind of special way that the insides of these are able to get the sound to you without using any tubes or anything like that. It's just like a very specific architecture. But the biggest difference between the 2 IEMs in regard to what's happening on the inside of the driver housings is that the dynamic driver is tuned a little bit differently. Now, 64 Audio wanted this to be a warmer sound, wanted to give that low end a little bit of extra something to you. So I am excited to give them a listen and see how it comes across in practice. Alright, so yeah, this whole week I've been listening to the Dragonfly Cobalt, so I'm basically putting these IEMs through that, and let's see how it sounds. Alright, I was just listening to the song Cleva by Erykah Badu. In the low frequencies here, the kick drum sounds, has this really cool combination of having extension but also feeling really tight and punchy. There's a lot of space around the kick drum and around the bass guitar, and it just makes it sound very expressive, and also just gives it, and also while having a lot of energy too. It's a really kind of fun low end for this genre, especially because the way the bass and the kick play together, it just makes it sound really nice and groovy with these IEMs. Alright, super fun. I was just listening to the song Shout Mountain Music by Old Crow Medicine Show, and yeah, I really am enjoying how there's like these acoustic guitars, hand claps, the vocals, just these moving fiddles and everything, sounded super, super expressive and lively. They had a really nice separation from each other, but yeah, the way the upright bass in the song kind of felt really solid in the middle and kind of gave that foundational support so that the other instruments, the fiddles and acoustic guitars and banjo and everything, could really move and dance without losing this feeling of cohesiveness to kind of hold it all together. So kind of a really impressive mid-range, and one that was really fun because there's so much movement involved with it. Wow, in a really beautiful high frequency response, I was just listening to the song 1919 by Terry Lynn Carrington, and the snare brushes had so much nuance to them. Like, you could really hear the dynamic shifts in the drum playing. It was absolutely gorgeous. And additionally, the piano hammers all had like a really nice sense of spaciousness and detail, and yet had a nice feeling of warmth to them. Than maybe as expecting, I guess. But yeah, very harmonically complex high frequencies with the cymbals, and then also I just kind of felt this general sense of lift to everything in the highs, contributing to the soundstage for sure, but also just really letting me know how much kind of detail and life and energy is coming from the high frequency response in these. Wow, yeah, and the soundstage is super impressive. I was just listening to the song Good Life by Sammy Ray, and the lows of the kick drum and the bass guitar just felt really nice and extended low below the chest. They also had a lot of punchiness, and that contrasted in a really dramatic way from the extension in the high frequencies with the cymbals and with the high frequency information in the vocal. And then, yeah, the kick and the bass felt super solidly centered. And that really gave the wide panned guitars and then the horns when they come in just this really beautiful support, and let those wide instruments be wide while making everything still remain really solid and tight sounding. And then there was a lot of nice detail in the front to back, the Z axis, if you will, especially in this song in regard to the way the guitars, for example, sat against the horns, which the horns feel further back in space and the guitars feel more intimate, and there's sort of a subtlety to being able to notice like where those things are sitting, and these earphones did a great job of representing that in a really powerful way that, yeah, just really made the song come to life in an important way. But anyway, I'm very excited to continue listening to these IEMs, as well as compare them more directly to the Tia Forte, because I know you're probably wondering the same thing. So anyway, I will meet you back at the Major Hi-Fi office with my overall thoughts, as well as more comparisons to the original Tia Forte. Alright, here we go. Overall, the low frequencies of the Noir have good energy and movement. I heard a boost in the sub-region right around what sounded to me like 40 hertz, and as a result it has good energy and sounds nice and deep. Now, this deepness does not imply a feeling of vagueness at all. Actually, the low frequencies still feel really tight, and this leaves a lot of spaciousness around the lows for all the overtones and harmonics to really show themselves, and for good separation between the lows and the low mids. Now, both the Noir and the regular Tia Forte have a really nice sense of punchiness to them in the low frequencies and work for a wide variety of genres in the low end. But the biggest difference I heard between the Noir and to the regular Forte is that the low frequencies seemed a little bit deeper with the Noir, and they were emphasized a little bit higher in the low frequency spectrum with the regular Forte. Both the regular Tia Forte and the Noir have an amazing sense of specificity and dynamic expression in the mid-range, but the shapes of their mid-range just differ a little bit. So with the Noir, there's a little bit of a boost in the low mids around 200 hertz, and this is not at all to imply cloudiness, but rather there's still great separation between the low mids, the rest of the mid-range, and to the low end. But there is just a little bit of extra energy for bass guitars, cellos, the left hand of pianos, things like that. Then there was a little bit of a cut between what sounded to me 1K and 2K, and this sort of ended up making things feel a little bit warmer. It sort of made the middle part of the mid-range have a little bit of extra emphasis there, and so that part just kind of felt a little bit warmer, a little bit fuller. Now, there was a boost in the high mids between 4 and 5K, so this really brought back all of the kind of articulation and kind of presence to the IEMs. But compared to the Tia Forte, it was just a little bit less present, felt a little bit warmer there, and just kind of had instruments in that region sit a little bit further back with Noir. Both the Tia Forte and the Tia Forte Noir have absolutely gorgeous high-frequency response. It's actually one of my favorite qualities of the Tia Forte. So with the Noir, they are a little bit different in that they sound a little bit quieter in the mix in general. Still super harmonically complex. There's a little boost at the lower treble, immediately followed by a little bit of a cut in the upper treble. Now, this boost and then cut still feels really wide, like that kind of, if it was an EQ, for example, that EQ curve would be a really wide one. So it still comes through in a really natural way and a harmonically complex way. But it just overall sounds a little bit warmer than the Tia Forte. It's a little bit more like less present and just feels a little bit smoother up there in the high frequencies. Additionally, with the Noir, there's a little bit of a boost around what sounded like 10K, and this provided just a nice feeling like of extra dimensionality extra sort of precision in the soundstage, which I'll get to next, but just kind of brought it to life a little bit more than it would otherwise. But compared to the regular Tia Forte, the sense of airiness is definitely there. It's just a little bit quieter in the mix than it is with the Tia Forte. Finally, as for the soundstage of the Noir, both the Noir and the regular Tia Forte sounded absolutely gorgeous and are super impressive in their sound stages. But the shape of their sound stages, it just differs a little bit based on the shape of their frequency response. So as you might imagine, the Tia Forte having more high mid energy, having a little bit more high frequency energy, feels a little bit more intimate sounding. However, because of the fuller mid range of the Noir has a little bit more of like a sense of roominess or like depth in the Z axis. As for the feeling of height, the Tia Forte having a more emphasized high frequency response that's very, very extended feels taller in the mix this way, in the vertical domain. But the Noir having a little bit more extension in the low frequencies feels deeper in the other direction. Finally, as for the feeling of width, to me, the Noir had a bit of a stronger feeling of center probably because of that low mid and low frequency response just made it feel a little bit more glued here. Whereas the Tia Forte, because of the kind of sparkly high frequencies, felt a little bit wider in comparison. So anyway, both were absolutely gorgeous sound stages, but just a little bit different in their overall kind of presentation. Overall, the 64 Audio Tia Forte Noir has an absolutely gorgeous sound, lots of detail, lots of separation, and just overall, lots of dynamic energy that really brings mixes to life, just like the Tia Forte. It just differs a little bit in that the mid-range feels a little bit fuller here, and the upper treble feels a little bit smoother with the Noir. And the other big difference here is that you get a balanced cable with this one. So if you have a balanced output on your player and looking for something that can work with that, then the Noir is going to be a great option for you. Thank you so much for watching. For a closer look at the 64 Audio Tia Forte Noir, check out the link in the description to my long-form written review of the same IEMs. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and for more videos like this, be sure to subscribe. Alright everybody, thanks. I will see you next time. Bye.